Imagine, if you will, the ultimate heist movie. You know the archetype I'm talking about. You have the impossible odds, the high-tech security systems, a vault that has never been breached in the history of existence.
Right, the whole 9 yards.
But then swap out the Bank of Spain or, I don't know, a diamond exchange in Antwerp for the heavens themselves. Swarga, the celestial abode.
Okay.
And the prize isn't gold bars or bearer bonds. It's the Amrita, the nectar of immortality.
And just to push that cinematic visual a little further into the surreal, our protagonist isn't some smooth-talking master thief in a tailored tuxedo.
Not at all.
He is a bird. A bird so massive that when he takes flight, the dust from his wings, it literally plunges the entire world into darkness.
We are, of course, talking about Garuda, the king of birds.
Yeah.
And as we looked through the research for this deep dive, it became clear pretty quickly that this isn't just an action script.
No, not even close.
This is a foundational text of Indian mythology.
Yeah.
This is the flight of the Garuda.
It really is a cosmic saga. And what's fascinating to me looking at the source material is that while it hits every beat of a summer blockbuster at its core, it is a deeply complex family drama.
The family drama, yeah.
It's about divine genetics, it's about this toxic sibling rivalry, the catastrophic price of impatience, and ultimately a son's desperate, violent quest to buy his mother's freedom from slavery.
It's a lot to unpack. And we've got a massive stack of sources today. We're pulling heavily from the Mahabharata, specifically the Adi Parva, which gives us the most detailed narrative.
Right, that's the spine of the story.
But we're also layering in the Srimad Bhagavatam cantos 6, 8, and 10 and cross-referencing with some Puranic accounts to, fill in the gaps.
The mission for this deep dive is, well, it's straightforward but ambitious. We want to understand the mechanism of this myth. How does Garuda, a being with the power to crush worlds, end up as a glorified chauffeur for a bunch of snakes?
That's the question.
And more importantly, what does his journey tell us about the concept of duty versus power?
That's the central tension, isn't it? You have a demigod born into bondage, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to the inciting incident. How does a bird like this end up in chains before he's even hatched?
As is often the case in these ancient texts, it starts with a domestic dispute that spirals way out of control. We have to look at the patriarch of this entire clan, sage Kashyapa.
Yeah.
In the texts, he's often referred to as Tarksya. Now, Kashyapa isn't just some wise old man in a forest. He is a Prajapati.
For those not steeped in the terminology, can we clarify Prajapati? It sounds like a title.
It is a massive title. Think of a Prajapati as a lord of creatures or a progenitor. In the cosmic hierarchy, these are the beings responsible for populating the universe.
He's a father figure on a cosmic scale.
A huge one. Kashyapa is married to several daughters of Daksha Prajapati, another major cosmic figure. Essentially, Kashyapa is the father of, well, almost everything. Divas, demons, animals, birds, you name it.
So it's a very big, very complicated mixed family.
Massive. But for the Garuda saga, we only really need to care about two of his wives, Vinata and Kadru.
And their sisters.
They are sisters. But calling them sisters doesn't quite capture the dynamic. They are the archetypal frenemies.
I get the sense frenemies is putting it lightly based on the fallout.
Oh, it is. So the story goes that Kashyapa, pleased with their service to him, offers them each a boon, a divine wish for their offspring. And this is where we get a really interesting psychological profile of the two sisters.
The choice they make says a lot about them.
Everything. Kadru steps up first. She chooses quantity. She asks for 1,000 mighty snakes, the Nagas, to be her sons.
She wants an army. She wants to be the mother of the masses. She wants influence.
Exactly. She wants reach and sheer numbers. Vinata, however, she watches this and makes a countermove. She chooses quality.
Okay.
She asks for only 2 sons, but her specific stipulation is that these 2 sons must be more powerful, more radiant, and stronger than all of Kadru's 1,000 sons combined.
Wow. That is incredibly aggressive.
Isn't it?
She's not just asking for strong kids. She is explicitly measuring her future children against her sisters. It's competitive motherhood on a cosmic scale.
Precisely. It sets the stage for rivalry before conception even happens. Kashyapa grants the wishes. So Kadru lays 1,000 eggs. Vinata lays 2. They're placed in these warm vessels to incubate.
Right.
And then the waiting game begins.
And this is where the timeline becomes a factor. We're talking about 9 months here.
Oh, not at all. Not 9 months. We were talking about deep time. 500 years pass.
500 years.
Imagine that tension building for 5 centuries. Finally, Kadru's eggs begin to crack. And out come 1,000 slithering, powerful serpents, The Nagas. They are vibrant, active, and, they're everywhere.
And Vinata.
Silence. Her 2 eggs remain unhatched.
500 years is a long time to wait, especially when your sister is parading around with 1,000 successful children. I can imagine the psychological toll that takes.
The text highlight this heavily. Vinata is consumed by jealousy. She feels like she's lost the competition. She's ashamed. So in a moment of utter weakness, she decides to force the outcome.
Oh, no.
She takes one of her eggs and cracks it open herself.
You never peel the egg before it's ready. That's basic biology.
And the result is, well, it's horrific. The child inside is alive, but he isn't finished. His upper body is radiant, fully formed, glowing like the dawn. But his lower half, it's just undeveloped flesh, no legs, no feet. This child is a runa.
That's a tragic image. And I imagine Arun isn't exactly thrilled to be born half-baked because his mom couldn't wait.
He is furious. The Mahabharata describes his rage. He realizes his mother's impatience has maimed him for life. So instead of comforting her, he curses her.
He curses his own mother.
He does. He tells her that because she was so desperate to outshine her sister, she is doomed to become a slave to that very sister.
Talk about a backfire. She wanted to win the sibling rivalry and instead gets cursed into servitude by her own son. It's almost Greek in its tragedy.
It is. But Aruna leaves her a lifeline, a prophecy. He points to the second egg, the one she hasn't broken yet.
The one she managed to leave alone.
Right. He tells her, in that egg is your salvation. If and only if you can wait another 500 years without touching it, that child will become the master of the skies and free you.
So the stakes are set. Aruna leaves. And the texts say he becomes the charioteer of Surya, the sun god, right?
Correct. If you look at Indian iconography of the sun god, the figure driving the chariot usually has no legs. That's Aruna. He rises before the sun, which is why Arun means dawn, so he kind of exits the story, leaving Vinata alone with 1 egg and a ticking clock on a curse.
So she's cursed, but the slavery hasn't kicked in yet. How does the actual enslavement happen? What's the catalyst?
It happens through a wager, a bet that, frankly, is rigged from the start. The 2 sisters are looking at the sky one day and they spot a celestial creature, Ukaisrava, the divine horse.
Just for context, where does the divine horse come from?
This is a byproduct of one of the biggest events in the mythology, the churning of the ocean of milk, the Samudra Manthan.
Right.
It's a pure white, 7-headed horse. So the sisters see it from a distance. Vinata says correctly that horse is pure white. Kadru, however, she sees an opportunity. She says, no, look closely. The tail is black.
And they escalate this observation into a life-altering bet.
Immediately. The terms are absolute. The loser becomes the winner's slave for life.
That seems like an insane escalation over the color of a horse's tail.
It speaks to the animosity between them. They are looking for any excuse, any way to dominate the other. But here's the insidious part. Kadru goes home and she realizes she's wrong. She knows the horse is white. She knows she's going to lose.
So she admits defeat.
Not even close. She gathers her 1,000 sons, the Nagas, and she commands them to go to the celestial stables and coil themselves around the horse's tail.
What?
She wants them to cover every single inch of the tail so that from a distance, it looks black.
That is incredibly devious.
Yeah.
Do the snakes agree to this? I mean, that's straight up fraud.
This is a crucial detail in the Mahabharata. The snakes actually hesitate.
Oh, really?
Yes, they refuse initially to participate in the deceit. They have a moral compass, apparently. But Kadru is not a mother to be trifled with. She curses her own children.
Her own sons.
Her own sons. She tells them that if they don't help her win this bet, they will all perish in the great snake sacrifice of King Janamejaya in the distant future.
Whoa. So she threatens them with genocide.
Essentially, it's help me cheat or die in a fire. Caught between a rock and a hard place, the snakes comply. They slit her up, coil around the tail, and turn it black. The next morning, Vinata looks at the horse, sees the black tail, and is stunned. She trusts her eyes, not realizing the trick.
She thinks she was wrong.
She accepts defeat, she bows her head, and enters into slavery.
And this is the environment our hero is born into. His mother is a slave because of a rigged bet, living under the thumb of her sister and 1,000 snakes.
Exactly. 500 more years go by. And then the second egg finally hatches. And the text describes this birth as an explosion of cosmic power.
This isn't just a normal birth.
No. Garuda emerges, and he is not a helpless chick. He grows instantly to an immense size. His eyes shoot lightning. His body shines like molten gold. In fact, the Adi Parva says the Devas, the gods in heaven, they panic. They think Agni, the god of fire, has expanded to consume the world because the brilliance is so intense.
That is a great image.
Yeah.
He's so bright they mistake him for the apocalypse.
Agni actually has to come out and calm them down. He says, relax, that's not the end of the world. That's just Garuda, the son of Vinata.
Wow.
But here is the irony. This being, who scares the gods just by being born, opens his eyes to find his mother doing laundry and chores for snakes. He is born a slave.
That dynamic must be incredibly confusing for him. I have the power to crush worlds, but I have to carry these snakes around.
That is literally his job description. He serves as their transport. The snakes want to go to a pleasure island in the middle of the ocean. Garuda has to fly them there. They want a picnic in a forest. Garuda is the bus.
He's an Uber for snakes.
A cosmic Uber for snakes, yes. But there's a moment where we see his rebellious streak. In the Adi Parva, there's an incident where he's carrying the snakes and he decides to fly a little too close to the sun.
This is the Icarus dynamic, but intentional.
Very much so. He flies up, the heat starts to intensify. Now, Garuda is solar in nature. He's related to Aruna, the dawn, so he can handle the heat. But the snakes, they are cold-blooded.
Of course.
They start to scorch, they faint, they are terrified. Kadru has to pray desperately to Indra, the king of gods, begging for rain to save her children.
So Indra steps in.
He sends a shower of rain and Garuda relents. He lands them safely, but it's a warning shot. He's showing them, I might be serving you, but do not mistake my servitude for weakness. I am dangerous.
I love that. It's passive-aggressive compliance at a divine level. But eventually he hits a breaking point. He asks the big question.
He does. He goes to his mother and asks, why? Why are we servants to these snakes who are clearly inferior to us in power? And Vinata explains the whole story, the wager, the trick, everything.
And how does he react?
Garuda listens, and he decides enough is enough. He confronts the Nagas and asks a simple business question. What is the price? What do I have to give you to buy our freedom?
And the snakes name their price.
They do, and they swing for the fences. They tell him, bring us the Amrita, the nectar of immortality guarded by the gods in heaven. If you get us that, you and your mother are free.
That is absurd. The Amrita is the single most valuable substance in the universe. The gods fought wars with the demons, the Asuras, just to keep it. Asking a bird to steal it is like, it's like asking someone to break into the Pentagon to pay off a library fine.
It is a suicide mission, and that's the point. The snakes assume he will die trying, or he will fail and they'll be rid of him. But Garuda doesn't blink. He simply says, done.
Just like that. So he's got the mission. But before he can go fight the entire pantheon of gods, he has a more immediate biological problem. The texts mention he is starving.
Insatiable hunger. You have to imagine the energy required to fuel a body that size, a body that can fight the entire pantheon of gods, is immense. He needs fuel. So he goes to his father, Kashapa, and asks for food. I'm going to war, but I need to eat first.
And Kashapa doesn't just point him to a deer or a buffalo. He points him to something much, much bigger.
He directs Garuda to a sacred lake where two colossal beasts are locked in an eternal battle. An elephant named Gaja and a tortoise named Kachapa.
So the names are just elephant and tortoise.
In some tellings, yes, but in the Mahabharata, they're named Supratika and Vibhavasu. And when I say colossal, the texts give specific dimensions. The elephant is 6 yojanas tall and 12 long. The tortoise is 3 yojanas high and 10 in circumference.
We should clarify, Jojana, it's an ancient measurement, but it's roughly, what, 8 miles?
Estimates vary, but yes, something like 8 to 9 miles. So we are talking about an elephant that is nearly 50 miles high and over 100 miles long.
These are kaiju. These are Godzilla-sized monsters.
They really are.
Why are the Godzilla monsters in a lake?
This is the beauty of the deep dive. Everything has a backstory. These two aren't just animals. In their previous lives, they were sage brothers, Vibhavasu and Supratika.
Human sages.
Yes, and they fought over their inheritance, specifically the division of their father's wealth.
It's a recurring theme in this story. Families fighting over resources.
It is. The younger brother, Supratika, he wanted to split the assets so he could do his own thing. The older brother, Vibhavasu, warned that dividing the family wealth makes you vulnerable to enemies. It weakens the family line. But the argument got heated.
How heated?
Curse level heated. The elder brother, Vibhavasu, cursed the younger